The series begins in the middle of the night on a fishing boat out at sea. The fishermen have caught a massive haul of fish. Suddenly, beneath the pile of fish, they feel something heavy moving. They can't see clearly, but all of a sudden a fast and terrifying creature bursts out and attacks them. Fisherman Ted is badly injured, with a deep gash across his stomach. The captain immediately contacts the military special forces and requests a helicopter, reporting that they have been attacked by a strange creature. The remaining fishermen somehow manage to trap the creature inside a locked crate on the ship. A military helicopter arrives quickly, evacuates Ted, and forces the captain to hand over the crate. The captain tries to resist, but the soldiers don't listen and leave with the crate. The helicopter lands at a secret lab inside a military hospital. Ted is rushed inside for treatment, while the creature taken out of the crate turns out to be a mermaid. The mermaid looks extremely dangerous and terrifying. Back in town, Jander and the rest of the fishing crew return and try to contact the hospital to get information about Ted, but they get no response. The next day, in another part of town, Ben arrives on his small boat carrying an injured sea lion. He asks his friends for help, and it's revealed that Ben and his girlfriend Maddie are marine biologists who rescue animals. That night, Ben meets his old friends, the same fishing crew that was attacked by the mermaid. It's revealed that Ben used to be part of their team but later gave up hunting to protect animals. Alexander and the others tell him what happened to Ted and about the strange creature they couldn't see properly because the military took it away. Ben laughs it off, suggesting it might have been a large shark, but the fear in their eyes shows they know something far more dangerous attacked them. Gradually, it becomes clear that Ben's family is one of the town's founding families, and his father runs the company that controls all the fishermen. The next day, Ben's family holds a ceremony for the statue of their ancestor Charles Powell, attended by the entire town. It's a big moment for the family, but it's obvious that Ben thinks differently from them, especially since they dislike Maddie and their belief in killing animals clashes with Ben's values. His mother scolds him for not attending such an important event and worries only about the family's public image. Ben apologizes and says he'll fix things. Later, Ben, Maddie, and their friends go to a beach party where Ben notices Jander sitting alone, completely broken. Ben sits beside him and tries to reassure him that Ted will be fine once he gets proper treatment, and that there are no mythical creatures under the sea. Jander angrily replies that until Ben can prove there are no dangerous creatures in the ocean, creatures they know nothing about, he won't believe him. Ben admits he can't be certain, because 99% of the ocean is still unexplored, and anything could exist there. At that moment, a child swimming in the water feels something strange and starts swimming back in fear. A dead shark floats nearby, torn apart and badly mutilated. Ben immediately jumps into the water to save the child and sees the chewed-up body of the shark. Ben, Jander, and Maddie try to figure out what kind of sea creature could do this to a shark, but they can't come to any conclusion. That night, while returning home, Ben sees a strange girl standing in the middle of the road. She is completely naked. Ben stops to help her, gives her his t-shirt, and brings her home. Inside, he tries to talk to her, but she doesn't speak a single word. She looks at everything with a strange curiosity. Her skin feels different. Her eyes look unusual. And suddenly, she makes a strange melodic sound, as if she's singing. Ben calls a doctor, but as soon as he steps out to open the door, the girl takes advantage of the moment, runs away, and completely disappears. Ben is shocked, but eventually goes to sleep and dreams about her all night. The next morning, Ben decides to look for her and searches around town. Meanwhile, the strange girl walks through the alleys and stops in front of a shop decorated with mermaid ornaments. The shop owner, Mrs. Helen, invites people inside to look at her mermaid figurines. The girl stands in front of Helen, and Helen freezes in fear the moment she sees her, unable to believe what she's witnessing. Ben notices Helen and the girl from a distance, but before he can reach them, the girl runs away again. Ben asks Helen who that girl was, but Helen firmly denies seeing anyone. The girl continues walking and reaches the fishing docks, where she remembers being trapped in a fishing net and struggling to get free. She then reaches a small house near the shore, where a young boy is watching TV. On the screen, a cartoon character introduces herself as Rin. Hearing the name, the girl repeats it and calls herself Rin. At that moment, she notices a toy helicopter, picks it up, and walks away with it. The homeowner comes outside and tries to talk to her. The girl tells him her name is Rin. The man offers her a lift, but on the way he stops the car and tries to attack her. Rin immediately turns on him, attacks him instead, and kills him on the spot. She gets out of the car. There is blood on her jacket, which she removes and throws away. After some time, she finds a pair of shoes on the road, puts them on, and continues walking until she reaches a distant part of the shore. Rin arrives at the place where Maddie and Ben work. Maddie is giving a tour to school children, showing them marine animals letting them interact with a rescued sea lion. Suddenly, Rin appears in front of the sea lion. The animal becomes terrified and lets out a loud, horrifying sound, causing the children to scream and run away. Maddie panics and doesn't even notice Rin at first. She only focuses on taking the children to safety. Ben arrives at work and sees Rin standing there, weak, exhausted, and with strange scales beginning to form on her skin. Ben tells her to stay where she is while he calls a doctor again. Maddie comes over and asks if she needs help, but Ben reassures her, saying that a doctor will come to examine Rin. Ben walks a short distance away to make the call, leaving Rin alone. As the sun begins to set, Rin collapses on the ground in pain. She crawls toward the water and throws herself into the sea. She removes her clothes and transforms back into a mermaid. Hearing the sound of the water, Ben checks the underwater camera and sees Rin swimming in her true form. Shocked, he jumps into the water to confirm what he saw, but Rin attacks him and bites him. Ben barely manages to escape. Terrified and injured, Ben goes straight to Mrs. Helen and tells her everything. She was right. He saw the mermaid with his own eyes, and the stories she had been telling for years were true. Helen tells him that Rin must be the one who injured him, because underwater she sees humans as prey, even though humans don't understand this. She tells Ben to ask his family about the truth behind the brutal slaughter of mermaids by his ancestors, and how Ben himself is connected to that bloody legacy. Ben is shaken. He can't believe that the creatures he thought were only myths actually exist. He realizes that Jander was right. That's why Ben goes out on a boat with Jander and his father to search for Rin. Jander allows Ben to board the boat, but once they reach the open sea, Ben starts feeling guilt. Thank you when he sees Jander raising a spear gun toward the mermaid. Ben remembers Helen's words about his family's violent past. At the last moment, he pushes the spear gun aside and saves Rin's life. Jander explodes in anger and says that Ben is just a guest. This is their hunt. Ben firmly responds that he came to protect the mermaids, not to kill them. Jander reveals that their plan is to capture the mermaid and make a deal with the military so they can get Ted back. Suddenly, they feel movement beneath the boat, and Ben jumps into the water, thinking it might be Rin. Instead, he finds a strange device stuck in the boat's propeller. The device is emitting sounds identical to a mermaid's vocal call, clearly designed to lure them in. Ben brings the device up and they discover that it's a camera equipped with GPS, a military device created to easily attract mermaids. Jander takes the device and everyone heads back toward shore. Meanwhile, Rin comes out of the sea again, naked and freezing. She steals clothes hanging outside a house. When the homeowner sees her, she screams. Instinctively, Rin picks up an iron rod and throws it with such force that it embeds deeply into a nearby wooden post. The woman is so terrified that she backs away and lets Rin take what she wants. Rin then goes to Ben's house but doesn't find him there, so she goes to Helen's shop. As soon as Helen sees her, she quickly shuts the door and tries to talk to her. Rin picks up a statue of two mermaids and tries to explain something. Suddenly, she breaks the statue in half, separating the two mermaids. She points to one as if saying, "This is me," and then looks sadly at the other. Helen realizes that Rin is searching for another mermaid. Helen begins teaching her some words so she can express herself better. Meanwhile, worried about Ben, Maddie goes to his house and finds him injured and exhausted. Ben tells her that he has something very important to show her. Ben and Maddie return to the Marine Center, where Ben plays the underwater camera footage showing Rin transforming in the water and attacking him. Maddie is stunned. The story she believed was just an old legend is proven true before her eyes. They both decide that they must help Rin and protect her from humans. Ben secretly goes to Jander's house and, finding him absent, takes the device. He brings it to Helen, who is hiding Rin and still doesn't fully trust Ben and Maddie. Ben assures her that he's not like his family and truly wants to help Rin. He turns on the device, and a mermaid-like distress call echoes through the room. Rin panics, mistaking it for a real call, and prepares to attack. Helen and Ben try to explain that it's just a machine, but Rin clutches the device as if it's her last hope. Then she notices a magazine with drawings of mermaids on the cover, and the word sisters written on it. Rin points to the picture of the two mermaid sisters and anxiously tries to explain. Helen understands that Rin is searching for her sister. After that, Rin goes with Ben and Maddie to Jander to find out where Ted is being held and how to reach the mermaid's location. But as soon as Jander realizes that Ben took the device without telling him, he erupts in anger and demands it back immediately. Jander notices Rin and asks who she is, but Ben and Maddie quickly lie, saying she's a friend from out of town to keep Rin safe. Ben returns the device and he leaves with Rin and Maddie. Rin first returns to Helen, and then everyone goes to Maddie's house, which is also the sheriff's home. Meanwhile, the sheriff is inspecting a crime scene on the same road. The same road where Rin killed the man who tried to attack her. The woman whose clothes Rin had stolen is also there and tells the sheriff the entire incident. However, the sheriff initially dismisses it as a minor case of clothing theft, until he notices the deep dent in the wooden post. A mark made with such force couldn't be the work of an ordinary thief. After finishing the investigation, the sheriff returns home. Maddie and Ben overhear him discussing the road incident and saying that the blood found there is not human. Ben and Maddie panic, fearing that if the truth comes out, people will see Rin as a threat and start hunting her. Meanwhile, at the military hospital, Ted regains consciousness and repeatedly tries to talk to the nurse. But whenever he starts speaking, the nurse sedates him again. Ted notices the phone in her pocket and starts planning to steal it. At Helen's house, Rin is still awake, flipping through an old book filled with drawings of mermaids. Her eyes fall on a knife lying nearby. She picks it up and quietly leaves the house in the middle of the night. The next morning, Helen wakes up and realizes the knife is missing. She asks Rin where she went, but Rin only repeats Helen's words and can't explain herself properly. Ben and Maddie arrive at Helen's house and ask Rin about the man whose car she had gotten into, but Rin is so overwhelmed with fear for her sister that she can't say anything. In her panic, she pushes Maddie so hard that Maddie falls to the ground. Ben tells Rin that she is much stronger than both of them and must not hurt anyone. Meanwhile, Ted finally succeeds in stealing the nurse's phone and sends a message to Jander asking for help. Jander and his friend track the nurse's number to her home and decide to follow her to reach Ted. Ben and Maddie decide to take Rin to the lab. There, they record her on video and conduct several tests to understand how different she is from humans. The results show that Rin's intelligence is extremely high, and her learning speed is far faster than that of humans. Ben tests her reflexes and finds that she is much quicker than a human. Then he measures her weight, over 196 pounds, far heavier than her body size would suggest, likely due to extremely dense bones. Suddenly, a center worker named Jerry walks in. Maddie quickly hides the video memory card and pretends everything is normal. Just then, Ben receives a message from Jander saying that he is following the nurse. Ben is relieved. They are now closer than ever to finding both Ted and Rin's sister. Meanwhile, in the military lab, the lead scientist, Dr. Decker, continues performing experiments on Rin's sister. He feels guilty about the endless tests and samples being taken. He studies the effects of mermaid DNA on other organisms and wonders what benefits humans might gain from it. He believes that any animal given mermaid DNA would die quickly, until a paralyzed mouse suddenly starts moving after receiving the DNA injection and begins walk perfectly. Decker is stunned and immediately informs the admiral overseeing the project. Back at the Marine Center, Rin wanders off on her own and sees Jerry feeding the sea lion. Jerry assumes she's a foreign girl who doesn't speak English and invites her to a party happening far outside town. Without understanding, Rin agrees and goes with him. A short while later, Ben and Maddie realize Rin is missing and begin searching for her everywhere. Meanwhile, at the roadside crime scene, the sheriff returns to look for the killer's footprints and finds the jacket Rin had thrown away. He goes to the woman whose clothes were stolen and confirms that the jacket belongs to her. Then he takes her to the station so a sketch artist can draw the face of the girl who attacked the man. The completed sketch looks exactly like Rin. The police begin searching for her. At the same time, Ben and Maddie discover Rin's location when they find a photo of her with Jerry. They rush toward the party happening far from town and arrive late at night. Once there, Ben and Maddie split up to search for Rin. Meanwhile, Jander and his friend, still following the nurse, reach a hidden military facility concealed in the desert. They try to break in, but armed soldiers spot them and give chase. They barely escape and decide to wait for the nurse to come back out so they can stop her and force the truth out of her. Inside the military lab, the nurse notices a strange number on her phone and begins to suspect that Ted may have called her, though she doubts it, since Ted is always kept sedated. In the same facility, Dr. Decker realizes that the mermaid is no longer responding the way she did before. He asks the doctor monitoring her vitals and learns that her oxygen levels are dropping, her heart rate is slowing, and she could die at any moment. Feeling guilty, Decker decides that he will personnel. Perform the sample extraction, even if it means disobeying the Admiral's orders. But the moment he steps away, the mermaid suddenly opens her eyes, revealing that she had been pretending all along, was doing it. At the party, Maddie finally finds Rin. Suddenly, Rin collapses and falls into the swimming pool. Maddie panics, fearing that Rin's body will transform in front of everyone. But Rin calmly climbs out of the pool, and her body remains completely human. Maddie realizes that this is not ocean water. Rin only transforms in the open sea. Suddenly, the police arrive, so Maddie grabs Rin and hides her in a hotel room. Outside, the police question Ben about Rin's photograph, but Ben says he doesn't know her. Inside the room, Rin tries to escape through the window, but Maddie explains that the police are dangerous. Maddie teaches her the word trust and tells her that she and Ben want to protect her. Rin softly repeats the word and finally understands. Ben returns, and after the police leave, they all go back home. They let Rin sleep in their room, but in the middle of the night, Rin comes and sleeps between them. At the military facility, Ted wakes up to the sound of alarms and horrifying noises, soldiers screaming as if they're being killed. Rin's sister had been waiting for the right moment. She breaks out of her tank and slaughters the doctors and soldiers throughout the lab. Then she puts on a nurse's uniform. Ted realizes that he is now completely alone. He quickly gets up and encounters her in the hallway. Mistaking her for a nurse, he accepts her help, and the two escape together. Ted finds car keys in her pocket, gets into the vehicle, and speeds away. In town, Jander and his friend wait outside Donna, the nurse's house, all night, assuming she's on a night shift. In the morning, Ben, Maddie, and Jander go to Donna's house to look for clues. They find a photograph of her in a military uniform. Just then, a car pulls up outside and two people enter the house. The group hides while the intruders search the place and waits until they leave. Ben and the others realize the military is trying to erase evidence, meaning Donna will never return home. Ben and Maddie return home and find that Rin's skin is drying out rapidly because she's away from the ocean. If this continues, she will suffocate and die. They try to persuade her to return to the sea. They put a necklace on her containing a tracking device so they can monitor her location. Meanwhile, Ted and Rin's sister are driving through the forest. When Ted gets access to the nurse's phone, he calls Jander and shares his location. As soon as Ben hears this, he rushes out with Maddie to reach Ted. Rin insists on coming along, even though she is barely able to. Breathe. Ben and Maddie find Ted's car and manage to pull him out in time. Ted is weak, nearly unconscious from heavy blood loss. Rin stays inside the car, struggling to breathe. Suddenly, Rin sees her sister standing in the forest. She immediately gets out of the car and runs after her. The two sisters cross the forest and reach the sea. At last, they reunite, jump into the water, and disappear beneath the waves. Ben and Maddie watch it all, and feel relieved that they were able to reunite the two sisters. They return home, while Jander takes Ted to a private clinic so the military can't find him. Ben helps them reach a doctor who won't ask questions. Later, Ben and Maddie track Rin's movements through the tracker. Rin is swimming extremely fast in the ocean, but suddenly the signal disappears completely. Sometime later, Jander and Ben see on the news that the military lab where Ted was held has been completely destroyed by fire. Ted later goes into hiding on an island in Alaska, so the military can't capture him. After Rin's disappearance and Ted leaving town, life slowly begins to return to normal. 1 month later, fishermen find an enormous number of dead fish floating on the surface of the water, shocking everyone. No one understands what is happening. Ben starts working as an environmental consultant at his family's company to find safer methods of fishing. But in reality, he wants to uncover the cause of the dead fish. In his father's absence, Ben secretly enters his office and finds files connected to a suspicious corporation. There are allegations that chemicals are being dumped into the water to attract the fish. Ben and Maddie discover that the government is now allowing illegal deep-sea fishing even in areas that were previously protected. Such overfishing will destroy the entire marine ecosystem. The real reason gradually becomes clear. The Militar wants to eliminate deep-sea fish so that mermaids are forced to come closer to the surface for food, making them easier to capture. Hearing this, Ben and Maddie are alarmed and start thinking about how to save the mermaids and prevent the collapse of marine life. Suddenly, Rin's tracking device at the lab activates. Ben and Maddie rush to the location, but there they find only Rin's lower half, her tail, meaning she transformed on land. They realize she must be somewhere in the nearby forest. They start searching in all directions. Meanwhile, Rin and her sister, who now calls herself Donna, steal t-shirts to wear. Donna insists that they should return to the sea, but Rin says they need human help and that not all humans are dangerous. Rin brings Donna to Ben and Maddie at the lab. A short while later, Ben and Maddie return and see Rin embracing them affectionately. In contrast, Donna doesn't trust them and gets ready to attack. Helen also arrives, having learned that the mermaids are on land again. Rin introduces Donna to Ben, Maddie, and Helen. Suddenly, Donna lunges at Ben and almost kills him. But Rin saves him and fights with her sister. Shocked, Donna leaves. But Rin refuses to return to the water without her. She asks Ben and Maddie for help, explaining that the mermaids are now struggling to find food because fishermen are catching everything and the ocean is empty. Ben and Maddie promise to help her in every possible way. Ben uses his influence at his father's company to reach high-ranking officials. That night, Donna wanders the streets hungry. She finds a warehouse full of frozen fish and eats them. A worker notices her and tries to stop her, but Donna attacks. Before killing him, the worker pulls an alarm, and the loud noise scares Donna away. The next day, the worker reports the incident to the police and gives a full description of Donna, making her officially wanted. Helen decides to find Donna herself. She searches areas with abundant seafood and eventually finds her. Helen takes her home and explains that they share the same purpose because Helen is also like them. In Alaska, Dr. Decker somehow finds Ted. He questions him about the nurse who escaped with him and confirms that Ted doesn't know that Donna is a mermaid. After several questions, Decker leaves. Ted learns that the military assumes he knows nothing and decides to return home. In town, Donna goes out from Helen's house in search of food. She reaches Ben's father's company and sees a huge stockpile of fish, realizing that these are the people stealing their food. She finds a photo of Ben and gets furious. Just then, she hears a voice. Dr. Decker is searching for her. Donna immediately flees and returns to Helen the next day. Rin, Maddie, and Ben go to meet her sister. Ben leaves to meet his friends while Maddie stays with Rin. Rin tells Maddie to leave so she can speak to Donna alone. Maddie and Helen leave them alone. Donna tells Rin that they should return to the ocean, but Rin says that even the ocean is no longer safe. Humans will hunt them. She asks her sister to trust Ben and Maddie, as they genuinely want to help. Donna angrily says she saw Ben's photo at the place where their fish were being stolen. Rin explains that the man in the photo is Ben's father, not Ben, and that Ben is good. Donna gets even more enraged and accuses Rin of siding with humans over her own sister. At the police station, detectives notice similarities in the reports about Donna and Rin and begin investigating. They suspect the two might be drug addicts and post their photos everywhere. A homeless man recognizes the photos and reveals that he saw them near the marina, where Ben and Maddie's lab is. Meanwhile, Dr. Decker is searching for Donna across town but finds no clues. Ben meets his friends, including Ted, who tells him the questions Dr. Decker asked. One of them was whether the nurse who ran away with him ever sang to him. Ben immediately remembers the first time Rin sang, that magical, captivating voice. He realizes that Dr. Decker must have heard the same song, which explains why he is so desperate to find Donna. Meanwhile, Jander becomes completely entangled in thoughts about the mermaids and is convinced that the military is hunting them. That night, Ben attends a gathering at home to support his wheelchair-bound mother, and Maddie joins him. There, Ben notices Dr. Decker talking to Ben's father about his search. about a breakthrough treatment where a paralyzed mouse walked again after receiving a rare fish spinal extract. Ben's mother is filled with hope upon hearing this. Ben pulls Decker aside and tells him that he is giving his mother false hope and crossing ethical boundaries. Decker apologizes but immediately starts questioning Ben about the mermaid's whereabouts. Ben stops him, saying he knows why Decker wants the mermaid, and explains that the song acts like a drug, attracting humans. Its effect starts with the first exposure. Decker is stunned and begs Ben to reveal Donna's location. Ben refuses unless Decker explains the military's entire plan. Decker finally reveals that the military has gathered all the fish in the area near their ships, so that the mermaids will be forced to come near the surface for food, where soldiers can capture them. And all of this is going to happen tonight. Ben and Maddie immediately call Rin, warning her not to go near the water. They caution her that the same man who harmed Donna is now looking for Rin. So, this was the end of episode 6 of the Siren series. The story has now reached an even more dangerous twist, and what happens next will be revealed in the next video. If you liked this episode, don't miss the upcoming parts. I'll bring the next episode of Siren very soon. Until then, take care, and see you in the next video.